So today, hi, how we doing? Is Nick in the building now? Good. All right. So, the title of this lesson says, what is a trig identity? Trigonometric identity. First thing we might need to know, Trey, Tyler, is what do they mean by an identity in math? What do you think an identity means?
A number. An undefined value.
So let me ask you this. What is this gentleman's identity?
They're not wrong.
All right. Let me ask you this. Give me a variable. Some people's kids, I tell you. All right. So let's use my favorite variable, x. If x is 0, is this guy still this guy?
My x
Yeah.
is 0.
He's still got his identity, right? If x is 1, is Mr. Beasley still Mr. Beasley? If x is negative 14, is Mr. Beasley still Mr. Beasley?
So it's just like absolute value.
Not absolute value. An identity is an expression, an algebraic expression that is true regardless of what the variable's value is. Okay? So like here, they give me a Pythagorean identity. Okay? It says, recall that the Pythagorean identity, sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta equals 1. Who remembers that identity? I don't remember teaching it to y'all. Did I teach it to y'all?
No.
I don't think so either. You might have learned it in geometry last year.
Yeah. It's not like
Brett, you learned it in geometry last year? Learn what? What did you not learn in geometry last year? See, now check this out. Check this out. I got one identity that I want to show you. Okay? I want to prove it to you. Okay? And it's this one that says sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta equals 1. We're going to show that to you by drawing a unit circle. So first of all, I need my content. Pictures. Ma'am. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I don't want a dot there. I want a circle right there.
Where's it being recorded? Oh.
That guy. All right. Unit circle, yes?
Yeah.
Now, Brett, it helps if you look this way. John, quit distracting. All right. Now, girls. All right. I got an angle. Brooke, Brandon, please. Now, I got an angle theta. Okay? What are the coordinates? This is my unit circle again, right? What are the coordinates of this point on my unit circle? Coordinates are 36 degrees. How about purple? My coordinates are purple. I want my coordinates expressed in terms of theta, in terms of my angle. I'm not looking for numbers, I'm looking for expressions. How did I figure out? So, let me ask you this. Hey, You had 3 days off. You should have gotten all this talking in during the 3 days. Now it's time for business. Okay? What was the significance of the coordinates of the points on my unit circle? What was the significance of these? When I ask you what the sign of pi over 6 radians is, and I give you a unit circle, where do you look for? Where on the unit circle? If this angle measure is pi over 6, what is the sign of that angle? So, I expected this to happen. Okay, now, the coordinates of the point on the unit circle give me my cosine theta and my sine theta. So if I do pi over 6, well, my cosine of pi over 6 is root 3 over 2, and my sine of pi over 6 is 1/2. Good, good. So we got some ideas to what this is about. Okay, I'm going to erase the pi over 6. I'm back into theta. I don't know what my value is. Okay, I am doing theta. But I do know that I can construct a right triangle. What's the length of that blue line that I just did? I got it written up on the board. What's the length of the blue line? It's an expression. It's not a number. I don't have an X written on the board. Sine theta. Good. Sine theta. Right? If my y coordinate is sine theta, well, the length between the x-axis and that point is sine theta. What about my green line? What's the length of that line? Cosine theta. Now, what's the length of my red line that I made? Remember, it's the unit circle. So what's the length of my radius in the unit circle? Y. Makes the math easier. So this guy is 1. Now, this blue line, here, let me underline this with green. What's the Pythagorean theorem? A squared plus b squared equals c squared. But I don't have a's, b's, and c's here, do I? I have sine theta, I have cosine theta, and I have 1. So, here's what I heard Caleb say. Sine theta squared plus cosine theta squared equals 1. Squared, I presume, right? Now, exactly right except one thing. This expression right here says take theta, square it, and then take the sine of that. I don't want to do that. I want to take theta, take the sine of theta, and then square what I get there. So we write our squareds right here. Okay? So the way I originally wrote it meant square theta and then take the sine or cosine of it. This right here means take the sine of theta and then square that result. And that's what I want. Okay? So sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta equals 1. That is your Pythagorean trig identity. Okay? That's the proof for this guy. Okay? Now, I want to use that proof, or I want to use that identity to find the sine of x, given the fact that cosine is 3/5. So, how do I do that? Sine squared x plus cosine squared x equals 1, right? And what do I know? I know cosine. I know cosine is 3/5. What do I have? So now I get sine squared x plus 3/5 squared equals 1. Now how do I find, what's my next step? What should I do, Andrew?
Well, you know, in my process, the next step for me would be raising my hand and asking Mr. Cook.
Well, that's very flattering, but it's telling us to square 3/5, right?
Yeah.
Why don't we do that? We don't have to ask Mr. Cook. We can just do what it tells me to do, right? Let's square 3/5. What do I get when I square 3/5? 3/5 times 3/5. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 over 25. And that equals sine, that equals sine squared x. Now what? Now what, Jesse? Nick, yeah, phone's down. What do I do next? What you got, Brooke? Yeah, let's get rid of the 9/25 from both sides. So now, I subtract 9/25 from both sides. This guy goes away. I'm left with sine squared x over here, right? What am I left with over here? 3/8? Nah, I don't think so. Let me ask you this. Can I express the number 1 as 25ths? How many 25ths?
25.
25 25ths. Let's do that. Why did I want to do that?
So, like terms and stuff.
Common denominators and stuff, right? So now what?
You do that math, baby. Right.
Well, 16 25ths. So now I'm going to bring it over here. Sine squared x equals 16 over 25. Now what? Yep, remember, I'm trying to find sine of x, right? Well, I got the square of sine x. I square root both of them, and I get what? What's square root of 16 25ths? 4/5, or more accurately,
Minus 4/5.
yeah, because negative 4/5 is also the square root of 16 25ths, right? All right. So
This was easy.
your job will be number 4 and number 6A. Number 4 and number 6A. Due
Tomorrow.
we should do tomorrow, right?
Thursday.
2 problems.
Yeah.
It's 2 problems.
Yeah, baby. I like
2
that.
problems.
Problem.
How long did it take us together to do the one?
At least 25 minutes.
10 minutes.